Turbocharged. That's how the investments are being described by the Walt Disney Company when they refer to their plans to expand and improve the Walt Disney World Resort. There's just one little problem, and that is, when you look at the actual numbers, when you look at inflation, they're investing less. Now, we're all wondering why. Why do they not want Disney World to be its best? And guess what, folks? The answer just might be China. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the wdwpro channel, where we intend to make all of us smarter by the end of the video than we were when it first began. And that, I think, is part of why we continue to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. We love it. Some out there loathe it, but we are all on board with being better and better. And that's why we have Lorena Creole with us today. Lorena, welcome back.
Hello, thanks for having me back.
Very happy to have you as we get into this conversation about the Walt Disney World Resort and the neglect, the dying atmosphere that is being brought down by the C-suite, Bob Iger, the CEO, refusing to give the funds that it needs to thrive in the face of Epic Universe. Folks, as we get into this very interesting topic, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you do stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Here we go. Straight into Disney dining, and this is our website du jour. Hosted by Michael Arnold. Op-ed, what does a turbocharged Disney World look like in 10 years? And this refers to that very fun earnings call where Bob Iger, a little divorced from reality now that we've seen the Marvel's box office, I think everybody's starting to realize that earnings call may not be an accurate reflection of reality, but he said that they were going to turbocharge the Disney parks, just like he said that the Marvels was going to be a big theatrical release. Here's the article. Yesterday was the fourth quarter earnings call in which Disney execs, including Chief Executive Officer Bobby Iger, highlighted their last quarter regarding expenditures and profit. During the meeting, a $60 billion ambitious amount of dollars and turbocharged investment was announced, pumping new life into Disney's domestic and international theme parks and the Disney Cruise Line. Many immediately found themselves confused by the terminology, as they plan to spend $60 billion over 10 years doesn't sound turbocharged at all, especially when considering that Iger also stated that the experiences would ramp up towards the back half of those 10 years with gradual increases over the first couple of years. Lorena, here's something that I think very few people have considered, and we'll continue going through this article and breaking it all down, but I want to get your thought on this. Mm-hmm. By moving this to the back of the decade, right, there are two issues here that allow Disney to get great press releases and headlines and the opposite of what those headlines say actually being true. Issue number one is that as they delay this, inflation will mean that the amount of money that is spent at the end of this 10 years, right, where they're back-ending it, that money actually has less buying power, and significantly less because we're in historically high inflationary periods right now. So the money that they're saying today will be worth much less when they spend it. The second thing is that by putting this off 6, 7, 8 years, well, they can just change their minds. They can just reallocate down the road and they get all the press. It's kind of like when they announced all those blue sky projects that aren't going to happen, and yet the press. Lorena, what do you think is actually going on here? Why do you think they're playing this game?
I think they're trying to make themselves seem more productive than they're really going to be. It really doesn't cost anything for Iger to say, "Hey, we're going to turbocharge investments." Of course, he had to say that because the big elephant in the room is Epic Universe, especially when it comes to domestic parks. Universal, they're doing a family-friendly park in Texas. They're doing a resident Halloween Horror Nights experience in Vegas. And Epic Universe, matter of fact, I just drove by there yesterday. The amount of progress on that is insane, especially given where it is located on the International Drive corridor, which is already a huge tourist corridor. I think what he's trying to do is make it seem as if Disney has a plan, when in reality, there really is no plan. What are they going to counter Epic Universe with? There's that saying that talk is cheap, and he's getting his mileage out of a lot of big talk and big words. But while he's talking about it, places like Epic Universe, Universal's Epic Universe is doing it. Also, remember, there's that merger between Six Flags and Cedar Fair.
That's right.
Something I didn't think would ever happen.
No. It's that's a big thing inside the theme park industry. I think you're exactly right. Bob Iger right now is going to that old adage of big hat, no cattle. And Lorena, the other thing I think that's going on right here too is if you look at, well, I'll give you an example. When we're talking about investments into the Disney parks, specifically Walt Disney World, I don't know if you saw this, but on Instagram, they put out a video of the new Frozen projections that are going to be on the castle for this Christmas, for the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
And it was filled. I'm talking about like 98% of the comments were bring back the dream lights because they're not spending the money to put those on. They just want to throw a JPEG up on the castle and call it a day. I think it's the perfect symbolism for what has happened to these parks. And I think it's why Universal Studios has switched places with Disney. They're now the leader in creativity.
Yeah, they really are. Matter of fact, this past weekend, I got to walk through Seussland, which is all spruced up for Grinchmas. You talk about the practical lights and tinsel and effects that they use. It's outstanding. And the dream lights on the castle, there was nothing like them. Oh my gosh, they were beautiful. They were gorgeous. And to replace them with projections, it's just like, really, Disney? There's just something about that effect that it had on the castle that people really, really loved. And
listen, they'll spray a few soap bubbles if you pay extra for the special event after hours. They'll spray a few soap bubble snowflakes and make you feel better about it. So good enough, right? Exactly. All right, here's
not for $200 a night. Anyway,
yeah. Here's what we've got continuing this article. However, despite reports of increases in Disney Vacation Club membership, the failed Galactic Star Cruiser at Disney World's Hollywood Studios has offset many of the gains the company has made over this recent quarter. The quickly accelerated depreciation due to the hotel, which priced out many who hoped to one day attend after its closing, we'll leave that alone for now, seemed to impact overall reporting heavily. Still, this is something that the Walt Disney Company expected. Oh, I'm sure they did. Despite this, Disney's Experiences division, here's where we get into some explanation, folks. Despite this, Disney's Experiences division, including its theme parks, note that clause, including its theme parks, saw an increase of 7% compared to the same quarter in 2022 domestically. So there's lots of caveats here. First of all, we're doing a quarter-to-quarter comparison from 1 year ago. Second, it's domestic. Third, because it says including theme parks, we're not being just isolated to theme parks. It's all experiences. That's how this sentence works. So what does all of this say about the current state of Walt Disney World, other than the fact that, yes, people are still visiting? Not much. No, it actually does. Now, here's what we know, Lorena. We know that Walt Disney World attendance has been dropping steadily this entire year. We know that through Lynn Testa and his website that keeps track of all this sort of data. Folks, we've got the link in the description down below for the video. We know that that's been happening. We know that Disneyland has been holding fairly steady. So how could we get an increase domestically if Disney is on the decline? And they said in the earnings call that Walt Disney World revenues are down. Okay, well, guess what, folks? Cruise lines are running more optimally than they were the farther back you go towards the pandemic. So literally, the only reason that Parks and Experiences domestically is up is because they can fill the ships again. But things are not good for Disney. Why, Lorena, would this company then defer investing into an asset which is by far and away their most important cash flow revenue generating asset, that being Walt Disney World Resort? There's nothing even close. Why would they defer investment at a time that it seems to be struggling mightily and has new competition on the horizon?
I think because they're broke.
Well, that's a possibility. They're spending money like crazy in China, though.
Yeah,
This,
they're
I mean,
spending
this is
it.
the thing I can't figure out. And I talked to an investment expert on this, and they had a funny comment about it. They said there's some reason they're investing in China, but it was one of those wink, wink, nod, nods.
Mhm.
In terms of financial gain, I don't understand why they're taking the revenues of Walt Disney World, funding the international parks, especially the ones that they don't have full control or ownership over, and they let Disney World itself languish. I mean, we're talking about Tiana's Bayou Adventure comes out next year, which is not something that
Mhm.
people wanted in the first place. And if that doesn't go well, you know, that'll be interesting. You'll have a dud sitting there like the Marvels, except it's going to sit there for 15 years. That'll be fun. Wouldn't you love to
Mhm.
have the Marvels playing in theaters for 15 years, Disney? Because that's
Oh,
what you're going to get
goodness
if
gracious.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure does poorly. But so you've got that situation. After that, the rest of the slate for new openings for Disney World,
Mhm.
non-existent over the next years.
Now that I think it about it a bit more, of course, it's very flippant that I say broke, but I really think, in a way, the Walt Disney World Company thinks people are still going to visit Walt Disney World.
Ding, 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 ding. It's flippant. Flippant, I think, is the issue here.
Yes.
They take for granted that people will go no matter what. They can, it's like a fine dining restaurant that thinks they can lay a Big
Mhm.
Mac that they ordered, 30 minutes ago from Mickey D's. They can put that on your plate and you'll come back again because they're the biggest name out there.
Mhm. Absolutely, which reminds me of something that happened this evening when I was at the parks.
Tell us about it.
ABC was filming the Christmas special, that they put every year. I should say, instead of Christmas special, the big infomercial to get
Yes.
people to come to Walt Disney World to visit. Okay. Stuff like that, where they have a hand-picked select people to attend that event that they can film, and they want people to take pictures and use hashtags and everything like that, not the rest of us who were kind of, walled off, on the
So,
back
so
that
talk to us
is.
about that, Lorena. So when you went into the Magic Kingdom, then
Mhm.
did they have for the parade Main Street cordoned off, and then you had to go through the alternative pathway behind backstage on the right side of Main Street? Is that what they had you do?
No, not this time, because I got to the park later after the flag retreat. So after that happened, I headed towards Cinderella Castle because I thought they were going to have the little, the new Frozen show so I could check out. But I get there, and right in the hub, where they had the partner statue, all of that was walled off by, the fake hedges on wheels and rigs that I hadn't seen before and lights and everything. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I look at the stage and it's all set up with a strange kind of lighting that I hadn't seen before, and cast members only letting certain people in. This was a setup I haven't seen before. I've been to the Magic Kingdom where they're going to record the parade and everything, and they have you go the same way, Pro, that you had said. But this was the first time that I'd come across the special that they were taping at night, because they said we're purposely waiting for it to get darker
Yes.
before they film. I hadn't seen that before. So it was very interesting how it wasn't like, okay, hey, let's bring, people, if you're waiting here, go on, fill on it, and this will be great and you'll have a good time. No. It's a pre-selected group of people.
Sure. I mean, they're essentially actors.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, they're extras. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Mhm.
We get it. So uh, they're going to need some extras in terms of attendance very soon. Lorena, take a look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look at the way that this article ends. It says, although parks are a focus to Iger, I would say they are if they're in Shanghai, he's made it clear that he's on a mission to establish Disney as the front runner in other businesses, such as streaming. I would say perhaps the only business that he wants to be a front runner in.
Mhm.
However, as many feel, Walt Disney World typically gets its proverbial shaft when it comes to a new attractions and shows. Putting a great deal of his planned investments towards the most magical place on earth could help revitalize what feels like a dying interest in the House of Mouse in Florida. I want to make a note here, folks. We're reading a website here that is dependent on the Walt Disney World Resort doing well. And these websites, and I'm not trying to make any kind of judgment about Disney dining. I think it's probably a very lovely website and probably ran by very nice people and very competent. But they need to play nice with Disney, and so do many of these other websites. The fact that they're out here saying this, I think, should be the biggest red flag you can have. Here's how it ends. Hopefully, yes, a 10-year plan to pump new experience into Walt Disney World would include new attractions, parks, and technology. However, for the trend to reverse, what it's talking about, what is the trend they need to reverse? Attendance going down. In order for that trend to reverse, Iger and Josh D'Amaro, who's the president of Disney Experiences and Parks and all that, would need to seriously look at how to take Disney back 10 years in regards to their customer service and standards. Now, here's where I've got to say I'm over Josh D'Amaro, because taking this back 10 years means going before Josh, right? So I'm sorry, but Josh D'Amaro has presided over the decline. We can blame this on whoever we want, but he's the guy at the top of Parks and Experiences. You want to go higher than that? It's Bob Iger. You can't blame Bob Chapek. He's not been there in a while now. He had the CEO position for 6 months. Can't blame him. This is on these two men. And they're now out here with these shenanigans where they claim that they're going to turbocharge, right? And they get the investors all excited. And then you start looking at the actual numbers. You go, wait a minute. This money is going to international parks and cruise ships. And the money that you are going to spend is backloaded, where inflation means that this has even less buying power than what you've been spending today. And what you've been spending today isn't enough. Your park's dilapidated. Lorena, I'm going to give you a final word on what you think might be going on and how they fix this.
Well, as for what might be going on, I think they're still thinking, hey, we can milk as much goodwill as we can out of Walt Disney World, because people still go.
You think they got a decade of it?
Oh no, they probably have maybe 2 years, if that, because the more that you see about what's coming out in Shanghai, what's showing up in Tokyo Disneyland, the
Lorena,
new
did you see the
cruise ships
articles
when they come online.
Did you see all these articles about poop in Disney parks? And it's talking about,
yes,
I've known about this for a very long time. This is a common problem but it's funny to me that it came out in the articles, recently. Somebody's discovered that, and then that, it took off like wildfire, or it took off like a lunch hour Taco Bell restroom. Yeah. But that's where they want to, it blows your mind, the priorities of this company. And all I can say is somewhere, somebody is getting paid. I don't know who it is. I don't know why they're doing it, but it doesn't make monetary sense to me to be investing like they are in parks that can be taken away.
No,
like that.
No. And I tell you, I will bet you dollars to Pandora charms that when Epic Universe comes online in force, then we'll hear yet again Iger saying, or he's still going to be around. We have a plan. We really trust us. We have a plan.
You know what the difference will be, though, Lorena, when he comes out at that point, it's going to be, we have a plan to get back into number one, because they're going to be in the rear view mirror. I don't think they realize it yet, just like they didn't realize that the Marvels was going to be the bomb that it has been. Their company now, and the investors don't pay close enough attention to this, but the Walt Disney Company now has a massive chasm between the way their C-suite thinks and the way their consumers, or their former consumers, do. All right, Lorena, tell us where we can find you on this great, big, beautiful web out there.
Well, folks, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter, Twix, and of course, you can find me on YouTube for various videos and live streams for pop culture analysis and theme parks as well.
And Lorena, thank you for doing the Veterans live stream from the Magic Kingdom. Did an excellent job, great content. I hope people will go check out the replay on that. Folks, Lorena is fantastic. Get over there and subscribe to her content. You are going to love it if you love theme parks. All right, folks, it's time for you to make that vote. If we, in fact, helped you become smarter about what's going on with Disney, with the theme parks, with the Magic Kingdom, and the delayed tactics of Bob Iger in terms of investment, well, click that like button, share, subscribe, and please, folks, we cover your comments. We care about what you think, so drop a comment down below and let us know, why do you think that they are taking all of this money and investing it elsewhere while their biggest cash cow is dying on the vine? We would love to know your thoughts there. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
No, hey Flo, what you doing? Thinking about Rome?
No, I wasn't. But thanks. Now I lost the game.
Dang it. Now I lost the game. No. Well, now you're a double loser.
Hey guys,
Game.
you know what would help you in your grief? Forgetting those things and filling your mind with articles from thatparkplace.com and using that website as a launching pad to get you lost in thought with all of the team from there.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Flora, would you look down here?
I hate you.